Core! Core, why? It's just one ram! Oh, you coward. We've got Divine DFP, Dinky King, The Muslim, Salami, Core, Fuzzer, Hut, and Middlemarch ready to duke it out in a massive bloodbath on what looks like a really, really weird version of Nagari. Let's get underway. And now you see what I mean. Look at the fishies. There's so much fish in the center. This is quite a weird looking generation. Actually, it feels like it was trying to begin with Nagari, and then it started to expand outwards. It's like, yeah, this is another little Nagari lake. Doesn't really count the same degree, but we already know what we're going to be looking for in the corners. Remember those who have never seen MegaRandom Nomad before? The way it works, you hop into this, and everything is archaic. You don't know where anyone's going to spawn. You don't know where the resources are going to spawn, if there's going to be water, if there's going to be anything. And also, you don't know what civ you're going to be. So in terms of these choices coming out, like Salami getting the English, the Muslim getting the Mongols, like that, you don't know. It's not intended. I mean, you know, if you need a proof of it, Divine DFP, he's not playing the Delhi or the Mongols. He's playing the Chinese. So that should kind of say everything it needs to, as he's still trying to find his corner. Because everyone else has found a corner. There's only one left up for contention here, as in the South Salami. Typical corner camper, ladies and gents. Down there straight away without failure. Meanwhile, Western corner, manned by Core, another corner camper. Round of applause there. All the typical candidates have reached their corners, and then finally in the Northern, it's going to be the Muslim. Round of applause again. It's always the same people. I already knew Dinky wasn't going to find a corner. Instead, he just slaps himself somewhere in kind of like the center on the outskirts. Same for Hut here as well. And, well, if this is anything to go by... Are we going to get a repeat of what we've seen all too often before? Because last time we saw Dinky and Hut in a game together, I don't know. I think one of them called the other's mother fat or something because they really had it out for each other. If I recall correctly in that game, the last one we saw, they were both fuel age at 40 minutes into the game. They killed each other off to the point of no return and then somehow survived as a husk of their former self. So we'll see if that actually happens again. There's a high likelihood, considering Salami's not going to come out anytime soon. Might even start building Wall of Mara again. And Core, of course, doesn't like to come out until he's thrown the game by building a wonder in his own corner. Meanwhile, in the center, Fuzzer is absolute chill state here. I always find these central players curious because a lot of them actually don't die straight away. It's kind of wacky. People identify the strong points of these corners and tend to go after them first, or just their outright neighbor on the edge of the map. Somehow, more often than not, when we have a single player plopped center face in the map, they don't get targeted. They just chill for a long time, even with Sacred Sites Park next to them. And the cool thing about this for Fuzzer in this map generation is the fishies. There's so many fishies. And he's got it all for himself. Nobody else has even tried to contest it. There's not a single dock around here. No TC nearby. In fact, everyone else has just been gravitating to the outskirts. You can see that Divine... He got lazy. He couldn't be asked to walk the rest of the distance into the corner. Yeah, we had to extend up there quite nicely, though. And then the other person we didn't talk about is Middlemarch over here. Middlemarch, by the way, I believe Middlemarch is a friend of a bunch of the Aussie boys. He organizes a bunch of smaller SEA tournaments. We didn't get a chance to see if he was good enough to be in these lobbies before, as he kind of disappeared as soon as he saw that he was teamed up with Dinky King in the 2v2v2v2. This time around, Dinky will struggle to get his vengeance, though, as they are on opposite sides of the map. And now, as we move through, I'm wondering, like, what the timings are going to be that we see people march out. I feel like Core is going to play for a hyper late game where he just rushes out with a chunky line of knights and then always falls back to his base. I'm wondering if anyone's got kind of a static, like, proxy base approach here. I think if anyone's likely to do the proxy bases, I could maybe see it coming out of Divine. Just because he's so displaced, it feels like a long way to run with, like, Grenadiers and Bombards. I'm a little bit worried for Middlemarch, actually, the more I think about this now. Because he's the Abbasid. You want to be able to daisy chain with the House of Wisdom. So usually you want open landscape around you. This isn't as much open as it is a closed book. I mean, like, look how bad this is. You're going to have to very finely tune the houses to daisy chain through. By the way, anyone who's looking at this and saying, who the hell's Fuzzer, who the hell's Middlemarch, really addressed March, but Fuzzer, he was a high-level player. I don't think he plays too much 1v1 anymore, but he was easily always top 200, sometimes top 100 when he played. In fact, I believe he owned one of the kind of meme accounts that was in the top 20 at one point. So this guy is fairly talented. If I recall correctly, he's from, I'm just going to say Scandinavia, so I don't insult 3 different countries when I get it wrong. But he's pretty skilled. He's pretty talented. I just haven't seen him in a long time. Just to address the comment about the pronunciation of the Abbasids, by the way, there is 2 ways to pronounce the Abbasids correctly. I believe the American way is the Abbasid, whereas the British way is the Abbasid. So there you go. Little bit of grammar nazification as we get down to the truth of it. You've all been saying it wrong. Don't look too hard into my language and ask why we spell color with a U. Instead, let's talk about the yous in the chat that wish you were in a game like this. You know what? If you keep looking around, if you keep hopping in, you might be able to actually get in on the action because occasionally they have been inviting some people into these. We usually see at least 6 players in these pro lobbies, and sometimes they'll fill with 2 reasonably ranked players. So I believe we've seen people like Dabston before. We've also seen Ripax get to be in on these games. You know, you just got to be good friends. Just donate a lot of subs to me, and then I'll have a word with Core. I think that's how it works. I'll just say I have a new friend for Core. He's always looking for new friends. I mean, he has to be, right? He's sitting in a corner all alone all the time, so, you know, we've got to get him some social interaction somehow. We've got to help this guy out. This is just fiending to the maximum. So, meantime, Dinky. Interesting choice to build his space here is the French, actually. I'm kind of surprised he didn't go for the corner. I'm wondering, if we look at the vision, he probably sees it now, but did he before? He didn't even look for a corner. Wow. I'm kind of surprised. I feel like the French is definitely one of these civs that benefits from the corners a lot, just because you want to primarily play cavalry. So you're not afraid from being further away from the fight than your opponents, right? Compared to a civ like maybe the Chinese or the English that might want to go for something a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical that relies on, you know, for the English, a network of castles, as an example. But he could easily get backstabbed. Also considering that he never looked at this. Like, he never checked out the corner. So I'm wondering how long it's going to take him to even realize that Salami's here. Meanwhile, a little bit of Khan shenanigans going on. How's the Muslim doing right now? Sorry, I think I vomited a lot in my mouth there. What is that? What is that Uvu play? What is this Uvu placement? I'm going to have nightmares about this. Well, you're definitely not getting optimal gathering from the sheep with this one. Good God. Chop the tree. Just quick chop, please. I mean, actually, if he quick chops, it's quite nice. It's a pretty protected route to get his sheep back. But right now, like, he just can't use the Uvu at all. It'll at least give him passive stone in the meantime, so it's not all doom and gloom. But I'm also concerned about the gold lines being so far out. Like, if we get a very aggressive feudal age out of Middlemarch, he could just ruin the Muslim's game before he even has a chance to get online. So, gonna have to keep an eye on that one as it develops. I think Divine should have the chills game of all. You can kind of see by this layout. I think the order is Divine, and then probably Fuzzer should have the most content first 20 minutes of this game. It's kind of wacky that I'm highlighting the central player as having a chill game, but he really will. Also, I believe he does have the option to go trade. If he builds a dock on the opposite side, because right now he's in the center, but if he shifts south or north, he can get some trade going. I once again just don't think he's going to get harassed anytime soon. The only person who might come to fight him is Divine. The one option Divine does have is he can actually build into the docks on the east side, and he will win a naval battle long-term as the Chinese, just because your ships, as the game goes on, get better and better than the English. That's Salami, getting the foundations for the Woolamari up. Doesn't matter what game we're in. Actually, he got disgusting corner for it as well. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice there was no entrance here. Like, Salami has the rattiest corner of all. Everything is condensed forward of his base in one direction. If you look at Core by an example, or by a comparison rather, I think there's a thin gap that lets you up here. Then you've also got this tree line that will eventually be opened up, as well as this one over here. So by comparison, Core looks like he has 3 entrances to his base, and the Muslims is just too thin. He can't go for a wonder victory in this corner without necessarily being sieged from the low ground. The cool thing about the layout of Salami's base is I think he has enough wiggle room here, just enough to get a wonder in the back corner. And there's no way to siege it from the northeastern side. You have to march through the highlands to the west. So keep an eye on that, because as the game develops, he might be the rat that goes for the wonder victory. And also in the meantime, it looks like Dinky King is going to try to get some perspective by getting himself a high ground. Salami's just getting so many layers here. He's going to consolidate some resources for himself, though, so he should be able to easily get his hands on it. I'm wondering if Divine has the option to go for a Wonder Victory layer. Like, it's always something we have to consider, because these maps are so big. Someone almost always inevitably goes for a Wonder Victory, right? In the free-for-alls, they wait for the opportunity. If you're wondering when you should be going for a free-for-all, by the way, free-for-all Wonder Victory, rather, it's usually when there's only 4 players left is the kind of minimum threshold cutoff, I'd say. If you try to build a Wonder with 5 or more people in the game, you deserve what's coming your way. 50 minutes of holding out against that is difficult, because with so many players in the field, at least 2 to 3 of them are going to just prioritize you as a target. Oh, look at this. Hart gaining a lot of ground. It looks like he might not be aggressing towards Dinky for once. Instead, he actually encounters Core in the corner. And Core, I think he was looking for the secondary TC placement. Yeah, if we look at the numbers, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So he goes over here. So he will be able to get up in the end. He's moving towards the center now. It does diversify his holdings, because the upside downside of being in a corner here is, like, you are in a corner, so there's limited angles to come at you from. There's also limited space to build in. And this can be your downside. You can end up in a situation where all 4 landmarks are on one screen. It's why, actually, when you look at the base for Salami, I'd love to see a situation where he eventually gets a proxy base down on the lowland here and builds one of his landmarks here, like a King's Palace. Because then you diversify your portfolio, right? Not everything is stuck here. If you want to go for a Wonder Victory and you rely on this corner, they don't even necessarily need to reach the Wonder if all of your landmarks are in the same area. You want a Muslim? He's going for the trade. Okay, so he does get value out of the Uber in the end. He has a long way to go, though, right? He does. He needs to get the outpost up, because this could be raided by middle March pretty easily. Where is he trading to? Oh, okay. I was worried for a sec there. Yeah, so he's going for the coastal trade post. And nice use of the outpost there. So that's going to deny any early harassment out of Fuzzer. He won't be able to deny equity here. But later on, he can come back with Hulks and completely deny what Dumism's doing. At which point, Ben doesn't have any fallback. There's nothing else he can trade with. Like, this is even harder to reach. This trade post on land. This is just obviously a no-go. And there's no other... Okay, there's one trade up here. That is a lot shorter than you'd like, though. I'm also concerned about Middlemarch. Like, he's wearing green for a reason. He's camouflaging the trees here. Despite the fact he's playing as the Abbasses, this is your Robin Hood for the game. Because he's going to have to find a way of raiding in. He's going to definitely have to fight for land soon. Like, I'm kind of concerned. Like, even if you shift the south, there's so much block ground here. Like, you have to go far out to each floodlands, like the open lands. And even if you go there, that might just draw the attention of Divine. Who, for now, actually is for going farms as long as possible. He shifted out on the deers. Even sent the Imperial official out. Interesting choice here. It does mean he's missing out on taxation benefits. Meanwhile, Salami didn't go for the King's Palace on the low ground like we talked about. He will hold on the high ground. Does still have the option with the 4th landmark. And I actually quite like the idea of a Berkshire Pass down this area. Once again, we'll have to see if he does it. I wonder if sticking yourself too far in the corner is going to backfire when you do go for that win condition. Dinky, what is going on here? 3 archery ranges already, but I don't think he has any military in the field. Yeah, he only has the scout. So this should be the arbitrary play, but I'm wondering who he's playing into. Like, maybe you play towards Salami here, worried about the corner. Because the cool thing is, if you take out the corner player, then the corner becomes yours, right? That's just how things work. If you kill someone, you get the stuff. Okay, I didn't realize we were in the world of Chronicles, really. But yes, you kill what you keep. You keep what you kill. That makes more sense. But yeah, it kind of works true in this one as well. Like, as long as there's something left in this corner. One thing that can be annoying when you take corners, of course, is that the landmarks don't disappear, right? So the rubble remains and does block you from building, which is frustrating. But overall, it's a small detail. There's still a lot of room to boom back there. feel like at this rate, the Muslim might be the quickest into Imperial, though, if he plays this right. Unless he starts to get raided soon. I don't feel like Fuzzer's going to allow this forever. Like, I'm expecting to see Hulks coming out eventually. Because only one outpost stands behind you, between you and denying this grab. And then after that, you have to get very close to Middle March's base. Who so far hasn't come out to play. Instead, he is going to expand to the south, so expect some aggression a little bit later on between him and Divine. I still want to see that active change for Abbey of Kings, by the way. I would love to see this changed into a landmark that you target a small area on the map, and then for a few seconds it heals in that area. Similar to how the campfires work for the Longbowmen now. I think that would be a pretty dope change. Because right now it's just hard to justify. The only reason we're seeing Abbey of Kings in these mega random death matches is the map's just too big to actually care about a council hall. I mean, I say that, Salami did go for the council hall. In before he regrets that later on when he tries to build a wonder. Oh, nice move there. So the archers were able to kill off the villager. Walls did go up, but look at this. He's gone around the other side. Needs to be fast. Could stop this from being built up, actually, if he's quick enough. And it looks like he will be able to. Salami, a little bit too greedy here. Doesn't have enough troops to protect this. Instead, we'll have to fall back. Means he'll cancel it. Knights will ride in. Get rid of the Lombos. Archers chase down the village. But villagers a little bit too fast at 1.29 compared to 1.25. And although he will stop the encroaching of Salami upon his eco lines, there is a concern that Salami start to consolidate his forces. Outposts being built up, walls already up, although not stone, will hold long enough that he should be able to cruise through to Imperial without much harassment onto him. And Muslim, is that what I think it is? I believe it is. We are getting the Kurultai. Okay, this just got interesting. You know, this is the play, by the way. In 1v1s, if you go for the Silver Tree, you do have the option for Kurultai, and it's very effective. But in these games, in a map this big, people tend to still go for the step redoubt, even with the Silver Tree, because there's still a lot of gold veins to tap, which gets you good value. And also, more importantly, like the Kurultai just gets very finicky to use. Because remember, it's a very small AoE and it requires the Khan to be there. But in theory, to Muslim, he could throw this away in a siege into his opponent's base, and then you can always recover it, right? A Kurultai, while it can be burnt down, it doesn't disappear. You can come back to repair it later. So, looking forward to seeing how he plays this. And this caravan route is getting so big. You can see it already up to 21. This is the power of Silver Tree with the Uvu, by the way. Because he hasn't spent any stone on any other unit. He's just been able to double produce plenty of these traders. And remember, these traders are fairly affordable for the Mongols, right? 75 wood and then 37 gold. But on top of that, he's just replacing the second one's cost with stone, which had been passively trickled out to him anyway. So overall, really solid play. Especially considering there's been no aggression onto him whatsoever. Walls are now going up from Fuzzer, though. Question is he going to get the Hulk? I feel like one Hulk could just solve all this problem. I think I know what it is, actually. Because Fuzzer is in the middle of the map, he's kind of playing diplomat, right? He doesn't want to anger too many players. In fact, he doesn't want to anger any players. So right now, Muslim gets to have his cake and eat it. Because if Fuzzer takes that cake away, right, like one of the other chunky kids in the playground might want it. To complete the analogy. Meaning that in the situation where he starts to draw ire from the Muslim and the Muslim starts to attack him, Fuzzer's going to have to prioritize all his defense to the north side from a position that doesn't suit itself to defending on one side. He could easily be flanked by Dinky. He could easily be flanked by Hart. Because, and that's before we even talk about the naval front from Divine. Like, there's so much potential gaps in his military lines that he doesn't actually want to engage with any players yet. Meanwhile, Divine doing what we expected, just chilling, vibing. Walls are up, and they are far enough away that he can build outposts everywhere, so I wonder if that's where we're going next. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen this play out of him. Am I saying Fuzzer wrong? Is it Fuzzer or Fuzzer? I always thought it was Fuzzer. Fuzzer? Fuzzer. Yeah, I'll keep saying... Thank you. I'll keep saying Fuzzer. Wait. Core! Core, why? It's just one ram! Oh, you coward. In fairness, he did lose the TC. I didn't expect that, though. I was watching the map the whole time, folks. It was just one ram in his base. Oh, but you understand why. You can see it if you look around now. Heart everywhere. And Salami! Oh my god, he goes as well! That escalated quickly. That escalated so quickly. We look away for a moment. We're stroking our chin trying to figure out how Fuzzer is said. We forgot to figure out how to say salami. Or rather, sayonara in this situation is he got ram rushed into the ground. Oh. Oh my goodness gracious. The Australians are vicious today. 2 Euro boys instantly removed. Corners not to worry about. Now Dinky and Hart. Is this where they turn on each other? Wow, apologies for that, folks. We were looking away for a moment. We were speculating about what's going on in the north. We didn't give enough attention to the south. And just like that, 2 corner campers are gone. See ya, suckers. Wow. I've got to give credit to Dinky, though. I didn't expect his military force to bulk up that quick. Like, it's 2 TCs, right? And he was transitioning to farm, so that should be a heavy burden for him anyway. But this force is big. That's insane, actually. The amount of archers he pushed out with that knight formation, wow. I mean, Salami admittedly was gluttonous here. He didn't protect himself at all. He got what he deserved. But that is still phenomenal, the way that Dinky done that so rapido. Now, do we have to start worrying about Fuza? Because Fuza, in the center, could come under fire from multiple players, depending on how this is approached. Hart, for now, is going to start walling up to the south side. He does have that corner to extend into now. Just really great from Hart. I think Hart is the more impressive early game. Like, we've praised Dinky, but what Hart done was very methodical. It was a small investment for what he achieved. Like, Core took a corner, and he instantly punished him for it. Remember what we said? Like, you know, corners are great as a fallback plan when you extend out. But if you can't extend out at all, you can be dead on arrival. And that's exactly what's happened in both corners in this game from the Australians, like, delivering. And now I'm starting to wonder, you know, we've watched several games with, you know, we've had Fuzz, we had Snooper, we've had Hut, we've had Dinky King. They've never been able to, you know, take the dub. Is this the game? Can they decide to not murder each other long enough to give themselves an opportunity to win? Or is Australia once again just going to feast upon itself? Fuza, in the meantime, moving out. Fuza just doesn't sound right. I'm just going to keep calling him Fuzzer until he tells me to stop calling him it. I trusted Twitch chat before when they told me that someone was Calp and it was a lie. So now I only trust myself. Fuzzer starts to burn it down. Trey being denied. This is going to sting for Demuslim. And Demuslim, he needs to be worried about his eastern flank as well. He can't even reprioritize towards Fuzzer and put all the aggression on the central player because of what's happening in the forests, right? The merry men are almost done. They're almost ready to start robbing from the rich. Middle march. Where is he going to march is the question. Because there's no doubt attention is going to be drawn to the south. However, if you start to engage here, Divine has nothing else to do. Well, that's not true. It's Divine, so he probably has to build a million outposts. But outside that, he has no one else to worry about, so he will aggress you straight away. Meanwhile, in the center, the Muslim did come to respond to the aggression in the center from Fuzzer. Fuzzer has the edge, though. It's the Imperial Age. That's the problem. The Magadai, not proving as effective as he'd like, especially with the formation shuffle, sticking them in range of the spears. Looks like it will be enough to deter Fuzzer away. He actually does peel off a few spearmen, though, to go for the caravans. Oh, this is hurting. This is hurting so much. It's such a cost-effective solution as well. Like, what are we down to now? Must be 30? 25! Oh, that's a stinger right there. The Muslim, his economy might shrivel up if he's not careful. Now, the only good news for him is it looks like Middle March is trying to march to the south instead of going to the north. And that's going to work to his downside here. The Great Wall of Divine is up, and the Great Outposting will begin soon. Actually, it's not referred to as great. It's disgusting. There's going to be a lot of them, though. And look at this Hudson as well. What is this hate? So what we are visualizing here in Age of Empires is the Brexit trade deal. there will be very heavy cuts, and it won't be a desirable deal for the English lad. The Muslim, what are we down to now? That has to be like, what, 10? 90! All right, he's holding on. I want to say 10, I want to say 20 originally, but tech up's coming through. There's a lot of pressure right now on the Muslim. Like, he's becoming the target for most players here. And Fuzzer's completely unattacked. Like, he's just been left to his own devices. We highlighted this before, right? The central player doesn't get target first because you want to keep them there as a balance force. They're a frustration for everyone around them, so they're usually never the player taking the lead. However, you do need to be careful with 2 players being eliminated. Once this gets down to about 4, the central player does have a big edge because he'll be close to a lot of resources that you would have already drained, right? Like, so when you're in these corners, you expand out, you take everything out of the equation. He can go in every direction to find new resources. Now look at the push out. Fuzzer. He's going to burn down these outposts. Remember, the Yan movement speed is what makes this so frustrating for him to engage with the Spearman. Once those are gone, he's in trouble. And middle march, he's been sneaking like a snake on the side the whole while. Imperial Age has been tapped up. Hasn't revealed himself fully just yet. Only small rate. Minimarch, how did you get up there? I fell. Oh, okay. Can you get down? No. Okay. When? No. No, no. No! Divine! What have you done? We're going to have to keep an eye on that. That's going to come back into picture later on. Divine is a peaceful lad, a welcoming lad. He wants to invite everyone into his kingdom, and will do so with this backwards Stonewall gate. Please tell me he didn't do it with the rest. Okay, that one's correct. And oh, no! Folks, Divine, we have to forgive him. He's an outpost enthusiast, not a wall enthusiast. He doesn't understand how these things work. Oh, boy. That he started with this one as well. Now, in fairness, Divine, he did earn his stripes as a Mongol player, and they don't have walls. So, you know, it's a very complicated mechanic to understand, clearly. Oh, my God. The pressure coming in onto the Mongol player in this one. The Muslim, he's trying to use the Kurultai. No! This is why we hate the Kurultai. When you want to use it aggressive and can't even plop it out, that's a problem. And that torch damage is starting to sting. He's being pushed back. I mean, Fuzzy is just getting away with this. Walls are going up from Dinky, but he has no intent of interrupting this. Everyone just hates the board lad. It's about hair versus the boardies right now. And last time I checked, everyone in this lobby has hair except one. Although, admittedly, when Divine realizes what he's done with these walls, he might lose a big clump of hair. Have to keep an eye on that. Khan goes down. Is that signaling the end for the Muslim? Really, where can you go at this stage? The Spearman push is just obnoxiously effective. Fuzzer just going deeper and deeper. 156 health on each of these, and you've built Magadais. Magadais that do not get bonus damage. They do decent raw damage at 16 per shot, and they are mobile. But they don't instantly blitz out these Spearmen. And just a slight miss micro can cost you dearly because, you know, they're much more pricey unit. The Magadai, 160 resources per compared to the 80 cost of the Spears. And the Muslim now subscribing to the outpost spam. Might be a little bit too late for that. My concern is, how does the Muslim afford all this now? Like, he lost so much eco value, right? The trade is dead. And without the trade, like, how are you able to float this army anymore? Like, Fuzzer, he extended himself well. If you look at the numbers, he's eco upper 100, and it's been stabilized for a long time. He's also the English in the Imperial Age, so he has enclosures, he has farms, he has everything and anything you need. In fact, I don't think he even went farms yet. Yeah, he hasn't made that transition. It's just fishing, which also is superior to what you can get on land, right? So overall, the Muslim is fighting a losing battle unless someone intervenes very soon. Well, at least he got to unpack the Kurultai. It's not really going to do much there, though. Spearmen are going to turn and burn straight into the Magadai. More important thing is what they are truly burning. All these buildings slowly going down, the Muslim being shrunk and shriveled, almost an innie at this stage. And with a new line of Spearmen coming in, oh no, it's just getting worse. Meanwhile, what's Hut been doing? He did start to harass the caravans, but he's just been chill. Oh, Dinky! All right, Dinky started the war. They're back in. The cannons are breached. The war must be waged. It's back to being Highlander mode. There can be only one Australian. And right now, it's looking like it's not going to be hot, as he is living in a hut, ignorant to what is happening. Primary TC down. Dinky. He breaches. And it looks like the Muslim might survive longer at this rate. This is grim, folks. I mean, where's the army for Hot? He lost the fight. He's done. He's out. He GG's out. Third down. It's going to be one of the Aussie boys. Still 2 remaining. And Australians are least likely to make it into the top 3, considering that they are on opposite sides of the map. And so far, they haven't really annoyed anyone they couldn't kill. Dinky has only annoyed people he knew he could butcher. And Middlemarch has decided to just remain the middleman. Hasn't actually attacked a single soul. In fact, I think if we can see combat, he maybe has killed a total of 0 units. Meanwhile, Fuzzer. It's slow, but it's assured. The Muslim really running out of places to go here. I mean, he's holding on for the moment, but we highlight the eco situation, right? Double TC is what's allowing him to survive, but he's been stunted from 5. Dinky. You know what the best part is about his location? He's the French. So you know what happens now? We highlighted it before, right? Something that Core was looking to do by being the French and go to the corner. You want to be far away from the action so you can just push knights. You raid across the field, and any fight you take, like, people aren't positioned to respond to it instantly. So this should just be an amassment of stables now, and a hard push across, raiding through and cutting off people's ecos. The only person he's going to have a problem with doing that to is going to be Divine. Because look what Fuzz has done. Like, this is the extent of his walling. This is all he done. And these are baby walls, and Dinky even denied it. Oh, no! Well, I think we know where Dinky wants to go next. In Fuzzer, we hadn't seen him in a long time. Only just returning to the game, and just as quick as he comes in, it looks like he might be booted out. At least he's going to get to take someone with him on the way out, though. As the Spearman push is never-ending into Muslim. I mean, look at the military count. It's still around 20 military pop cap. It's never growing. Even up in Imperial, it just doesn't feel impressive. 18 damage to the Elite Magadai. Yeah, they pepper down these troops fast, but eventually, Fuzzer's going to burn your buildings down. That's the difference maker here. The Kurotai's on fire. Is it coming? Is it going? We don't know. Looks like it's going to survive, though. Village is able to shift across quickly. That's the power of the Yam with the wheelbarrow, 1.49 movement speed. Cannon upgrade should deter Fuzzer, so Fuzzer has to get back to the drawing board. The Spearman push alone is not going to end the Muslim, but it will make him very butthurt about the state of the game. Because although he won't die, he's never getting out of the corner. Meanwhile, in the south, this has been the most underwhelming, never happening fight imaginable, as both players just don't want to commit. Minimarch and Divine are like that couple that's been engaged for 20 years. They just don't want to commit, you know? They've just been standing here, like, staring at each other every once in a while. Nodding their heads and then going back to their separate beds. Never wanting to admit that it needs to be over and done with. And it means that Divine is just going to continue to layer himself, turning this into no man's land as the outposts start to get spammed out. Minimarch, I think he's very quickly realizing if he wants a way in, there are 2 ways. You can break the walls, or just build infantry and go on the walls. Because there's plenty of ways for you to go up on the walls if you make your way down to the south side. The Divine, has he actually cracked it yet? No Ming Dynasty. I'm expecting this soon, though. He's been chilling Imperial for a while. Like, this should just be the Grenadier plus Bombard push. And it is pretty hard to stop. He also has extensive resources at his disposal with the south side because Dinky isn't contesting there. Bombards starting to breach the walls, though. Very slow, remember. Great Wall of China. Stings us a little. In fact, Divine... There we go. He's got Ming Dynasty now. Yeah, he was just quickly doing it. He already had the Great Wall. He must have gone back for the other. And with Spirit Way, remember, we'll get the 30% discount on the Grenadiers, actually making them pretty cost efficient for the damage they can do. Especially when it comes to the ability to burn down buildings. But where? Where? But if you just... But... We're not going to talk about this. He's getting some discount. Yeah, no, I'm going to stop looking at that. We'll try not to be mean to the pro players. Otherwise, they'll kick my ass. In-game, obviously, you know, I can take them in real life. Or I can pay someone to take them. God. Me in a fight, don't want to see it. Instead, I want to focus on these two in a fight. Middle march moving through. Divine, that is not looking like a healthy quantity of hand cannoneers. Luckily, it's backed up with the bombars. The bombars are the difference maker here. Grenadiers as well, fragging out. Middle march has only a small quantity of hand cannoneers here. I mean, Divine should win out the trade. I mean, it's just ridiculous. In this fight, it just feels very one-sided for him. Have to retreat away. So he broke a wall. Congratulations. Didn't do much else with it, though. Meanwhile, back in the north. It's been a while since we were here, hasn't it? Fuzzer hasn't really gained too much ground. He's been working for 10 minutes to burn this girl's high. Hasn't really been able to access the TCs at the back line. The cannons are a pain in his ass. You start to wonder, Fuzzer, has the meta changed a little bit too much from when you last played? Is it maybe, just maybe time to build Siege or anything other than Spears? Because so far, he's on the only Spear challenge. And oh, it's time. We're getting it. We're finally there. Only Spear challenge done. It's time to switch it up. I swear to God, if he builds Mangonels, I'm leaving. If he builds Springles, actually, no. If he builds Springles, I'm leaving. I'll literally just exit the game. We won't even watch the rest of this. Fuzzer is playing some, like, first week release builds right now. He's like, but it's cost effective. I never run out. Look at my resources. Yeah, but your resources don't look as impressive as Dinky's. Or Divine's. Actually, Dinky, I think Dinky has the biggest reserves now. Yeah, Dinky's just waiting. In fact, Dinky might be contemplating a Wonder soon. I think once you see another player go down, like, it's an opportunity. He's a little bit stretched, though, and he hasn't really protected himself on the east front. He's... Oh, I spoke too soon. Outposts are starting to go up. I'm worried about here, though. Is there a way... A smart player would chop one tree and screw you over. Now, I'm not saying these lads aren't smart, but it takes a lot to identify that. And the Muslim, he's had enough. We got tired of watching it. It cost us to miss so many fights, but the Muslim has been the unfortunate victim of Fuzz's spear cheese. Never-ending spearman was all it took to get rid of one of the top players in the game, as he will wave that white flag. Dinky, is he going to come under fire now? Because Fuzzer, he needs a new target. But would you turn on your ally to the south? I mean, him and Dinky, they've gotten along so well, minus the I stopped you walling part. I feel like you're not in a position to take that fight. Right now, you say, please, Dinky, can we attack Divine? Remember all those times when he outpost rushed us on the ladders? Vengeance now. Vengeance. We'll have to see. Dinky has actually turned up. What is this? Yes, this is the Foreign Legion Battalion. It's made up of suspected traitors. Got to get rid of them from the society. Don't want to risk any turncoats in our own walls. Dinky just vibing as he hoovers up all the relics. In fact, I don't think anyone else has played for relics, right? At all. I don't think so. I mean, there was a monastery built, but that was just for the sacred site. I think Dinky's the only one been going for the infinite gold. Well, clearly Dinky's going to win. I mean, everyone knows that the infinite gold is just broken, folks. I mean, you get the relics, you win. In fact, if you get 10 relics, you are actually able to form Exodia. And then a giant god unit drops from the sky and wins the game. And then all of a sudden, we're Age of Mythology too. Someone right now is believing everything I'm saying. In fact, what is he getting? I bet he's a gold hoarder, right? Yep. What? Dinky. Dinky? I think it's time to get paid, buddy. I think it might be time to get paid. He has 6,000 just sitting there. How does Dinky ever run out of resources? Honestly, he could open up like a homeless soup shelter on every street in New York and he'd still have money left over. That's how rich he is right now. This is ridiculous. Does anyone compare? No, Divine looks pathetic. Middlemarch looks pathetic. Especially considering Middlemarch hasn't been taking as many fights. And then Fuzzer, like, I don't understand. How has Fuzzer been pushing spears this entire game and not built up surplus? Like, this doesn't seem logical. He's been pushing the cheapest unit, and yet he hasn't got, like, you know, 20,000 plus resource in reserve. Oh, reserve forces marching in from Middlemarch. Grenadiers a problem. Bombards. Effective sniper rifles here. If you don't wheel them into melee range, Middlemarch, oh, no, no, no! He's trying to go for the bombards. Wrap around the right side. Actually, a good trade here. Decent considering each of these bombards are worth 1,000, but Middlemarch, what's this wheeling? What's this wheeling? He's going to get targeted. Well, he's from Australia, right? Internet's pretty bad down there. We're just going to blame that one on internet. And he instantly surrendered. Yep, folks. Middlemarch, rip. I can tell you what, clearly his internet dropped. He was going to win. Now it's on Dinky. Australia versus Scandinavia versus... Where's Divine from, actually? Does anyone... Divine's American, right? Wait, are we... Yeah, we've got each region Well, we've got 3 regions represented. Not each, but... 3 different regions. It comes down to this. Clearly, the person who wins is whoever was hosting the lobby. It's going to come down to ping. That's the excuse we now have. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if March did drop on that one. That was a very weird wheel-in on the bombards. And it wouldn't be the first time he's dropped. We saw him drop in the 2v2v2v2. Spoiler alert. Abandoning Dinky. Which is why Dinky right now has a creeping smile on his face, laughing sinisterly as he says, yes. Once again, you lose. But this is finally my time. Finally, I will win. Unless 2 players start to target you. Be a shame if Fuzzer was to say that because Dinky was closer to him, he should start attacking him, right? This Grenadier count is going to be a problem, folks. Divine, it's drained him to the bone. He has no gold in reserve. In fact, he needs to sort that stat. Has still got gold veins to actually tap here. That's the concern. If the army gets wiped, he's in trouble. The good news for him is Dinky doesn't have any AoE. And this is the issue with China in the late game, right? Like, when you get in these free-for-alls and these big maps, like, there's not much AoE damage left in the game that feels good, right? Mangonels got nerfed pretty hard. They're not a great investment necessarily anymore, unless you can get, like, a bogged-down warfare situation, which you can't easily against Grenadiers. Boom ships. Haha, yeah, right. Intercontinental tactical demo ships are removed from the game ages ago. So really, who has the late game AoE splash? It's the Chinese. Grenadiers and Fire Lancers. They are ridiculously strong now. Like, Roboticans is maybe the only other thing you can go towards, but Roboticans are very slow. Also, the range on Grenadiers, they can actually insta-kill Roboticans before they can do anything. It's very difficult. Like, Roboticans, the problem with them right now is they feel very unwieldy, it feels like. And I think when you're against ranged units, that's where you don't get the value. They only feel great when you're up against this giant melee push, where you know they're going to condense themselves freely. Especially when you're up against bombards as well. I feel like the only reason you can go Roboticans is if you have enough bombards to protect them. But for now, Dinky, it's going to be the Yellow Knights, the yellow-bellied Knights, as they run away. Look at the cowards. I mean, I don't blame them. I'd run away from that. Good lord. That was the brave, chivalrous Knights. These are the white flag wielders right here. They're just going to run. They're not coming back. I know, I don't blame them. In fact, if Dinky plays this right, he can get the pinch. Yeah, he's going for it as well. And he also is wheeling out the Royal Culverins. Royal Culverins that are damn effective. Remember, the Royal Varieties get an extra 20% damage. So insta-booming down opponent's units, but he needs to actually put in the extra effort. He's up against Clock Tower Bombards. He's going to need it. Booming in. Knights, tanking up damage. Hand cannon is getting range. Now the cannon's trading out, and there's the backstab coming in. Dinky King, wrapping around the back. Splits up to look for clues. A little bit of a miss by Grow there. The mining camp is not more important than the bombards. He'll get on top of them. Once the bombards are gone, he can start to snipe from long range. Hand Cannoneers and Grenadiers holding on for the moment for Divine DFP. Divine, remember, there's a heavy investment, barely any gold in reserve. In fact, he's trading poorly. Look at this, 100 wood for 10 gold each trade. But for now, he survives. 51 Grenadiers remaining, 27 Hand Cannoneers. A slew of troops moving out. But these Grenadiers so damn tanky, 165 health on both the Hand Cannoneers and Grennies. That's going to force Dinky back. And Dinky, right now, he's like, maybe I should have went Mangonels. And then he double checks the patch notes and goes, I should not have went Mangonels. This was the right choice. Just the wrong situation. And the only upside right now for Dinky is that Fuzzer is too busy playing Farmfield to get involved in the fights. In fact, Fuzzer, what has he been doing this whole time? Oh my... He's going for the Roboticans and the Mangonels. What? Fuzzer, can he save the day? In fact, if the timing adds up on this, he actually might arrive in time to fight Divine's forces. It depends how deep Divine gets. For now, Dinky's going to be able to hold. Cannon upgrade's just a little bit too problematic. Remember, they have a lot of range, 10 tower range. He needs to snipe out a bunch of the Grennies. And you saw how desperate things were getting for Divine. Like, he's going to start to replace the troops for now, but look at his military pop cap. He's in trouble. This is the problem. He didn't keep extracting gold. Like, there is gold you could be getting here, sir. But instead, he ignores it. And who is the only person who has a metric truck ton of gold? You know who it is. It's Dinky. And truck ton seems appropriate because it is trucks upon trucks. In fact, if we look right now at the numbers still for him. Almost 7K. He has 10,000! What are you doing with this? Dinky King just wants to build the biggest throne made out of gold possible. He will sit on it and he will rule from it. It's like, I'm yellow, therefore I must have all the yellow. I mean, honestly, I feel like he's just trying to buy Mount Doom at this stage. Like what could you need this for? Just spend it. Surely you're going to need more food at this rate, actually. Like, I think your gold, like, just pull the gold and get food now. Oh, so apparently... Okay, so this is what I love. Shout out to the pro players when they come by when the series are done and check out what's been happening. So we're getting an explanation. Dinky is actually in all chat right now trying to, like, convince Fuzzer to turn on Divine. And the score alone, like, we know he's going to be doing that, right? Dinky, like, he's this little rat. I mean, you said cockroach. He's more of a rat because he snitches on a player. He's saying right now, oh, look at this player score. Just go for him, bro. Like, you got to believe me right now. China's OP. They're going to win. If you don't take them out, he's going to take me out and then take you out. And then Fuzzer doesn't believe you then. And you go, look, Fuzzer, I'm clearly a better player than you. I've killed multiple players. What have you done? All right? And then Fuzzer's like, I killed the Muslim. It's like, yeah, but you need Hut's help to do that. It's like, yeah, but I killed the Muslim. The highest ranked player out of everyone in this lobby. And at that stage, Dinky's like, fine, I'm just going to kill you. That is definitely what's being said right now. And Dinky is aware that he might be attacked. He's like, women and children first. It's time to head over and make our own wall, Maria, because it looks like Salami doesn't need this corner anymore. Wait a second. Is he going to go for a wonder? Realizing that he's going to get targeted anyway? He is! He is! Oh, stick me in Notre Dame. I predicted the future. I mean, screw it. If Fuzzer's not going to work with you, you might as well middle finger and take the dub, right? Here we go. And you know what the bad case scenario right now for Divine is? He doesn't know about this tree line. We highlighted, right? If you take out one tree, you can get through here. He doesn't know about this. He's probably going to waste time going down here. And there's no point because, look, it's full mountain. There's no way in from the east side. We highlighted this at the beginning of the game, and it was an important detail which we're about to see. As Notre Dame is complete. Dinky is up and ready. Fuzzer knocking at his northern doors here. No, Fuzzer does need to be careful. A lot of spearmen, but that is all. However, luckily for him, Dinky is blind to any other unit except knights and artillery. So, we'll see if he adjusts. Because actually, just a battalion of archers could ruin Fuzzer's army. And here comes the move Divine is about to learn. Buddy, I've got bad news for you. you're going to be pulled up on several war crimes as those were innocent people, and you're not even going to get anything for it. There's nothing down here to get. Good luck with that. Meanwhile, Fuzz is in. He breaches the wall. He rushes through with the Spearman. Needs to respect the boiling oil. That hot oil is going to sting, actually. Those Spearmen going to feel pretty squishy under it. Needs to target onto it, but only Mangonels isn't going to be fast enough. Torches as well, trying to burn it down. Heavy damage being done in return. And for now, Dinky is ignorant to it all. He's going to start building walls, start building outposts. He's like, screw this. You won't work with me. You can get in the way. Because now, think about this logically, folks. Dinky, he's sacrificing his base. But where's the way in? Divine is going to learn he has to go back around. When he comes around, he's going to clash with Fuzzer. There is a risk with this, though. Dinky, I don't know if he's calculated for this. He maybe mashed his head against the keyboard and didn't really do the real numbers. He could get landmark sniped. This is the one hope he has, is the college artillery is slightly retracted away. They should clash in the midfield here. So this is why he could survive. But this is a dangerous play from Dinky, surrendering the base so freely like this. And the good news for him is Fuzzer, his resources have actually started to build surplus, so that might be a problem. And Divine is actually getting on the gold now. That's the other thing. Dinky's surrendered the midfield. He's surrendering all these deposits, and now here we go. Divine! Oh no! He doesn't know! He doesn't know! Don't tell him. It's a secret. Okay, Dinky, he took the resources out. Could you imagine if that was just sitting there? Oh my god. El Fuzzer gonna rush in, start burning things down, but he's slow in comparison to what Divine can do. But Divine, oh no! Buddy, I got bad news for you. You're not Japan. This isn't Total War Shogun 2. They can't climb the mountains. What's that gonna do? Alright, Divine. Is he going to realize it? Is he going to chop? Is he going to chop this one tree? He's got to chop it, right? There's no way he doesn't realize this. I mean, this rate, Dinky will chop it for him. And here he comes. He realizes he knows. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He doesn't know how many trees there are, though. Oh, he's going to have a smile on his face. Because there's only one tree that you need to get rid of. One tree to rule them all. It's going to be Dinky's downside. He's got 12 minutes to defend still, and he just realized it. He knows what's coming. Hand cannon is on the wall. Get on the wall. Get on the wall. Get on the wall. No! Frags out. Use the walls. Folks, if he's on the wall, he gets 2 extra tile range. That brings him up to 6. Compare that to what the Grenadiers have. 4.8. They're little minis in comparison. He could actually be slaughtering them right now. Oh, no. Dinky. He's like, these buildings were built by English people. Poor, shoddy craftsmanship. Don't trust them. Because if they're that good at building, I wouldn't be able to breach them at like 50 minutes in the game earlier on. Well, Divine's in. And Fuzzer's building. Oh my god. He's building a wonder as well. Why? Why would you ever do this? There's no way. Has Divine just been handed the game? Well, let's see. He's a little bit hesitant to breach through quickly here. Corverin's trying to snipe out the bombards. Wall's about to go down, and he's in. Divine's going to flood through. Knights have to run away. Fuzzer playing Farmville while the 1v1 goes on in the south. And there's no way you can approach Dinky right now. He's like, please, Fuzzer, your wonder is stupid. Or actually, you got your wonder now. We're Wonder Bros. Let's work together. He's never going to buy it. Hand cannon is wrapping around the side. Still not going up on the walls. He's trying to butcher him. Divine. Where's the gold? Where's the gold? Grenadier is going to be too slow to reinforce here. A lot of troops are going to be going down. The Grenadier front line. Quickly getting rid of the Knight front line. Hand cannoneers sniping on the side. Dinky just trying to optimize, sending his small groups of hand cannoneers here. Culverin's wheeling in a little bit too close to the sun. Might get burned. In fact, he's using them as a throwaway. He's trying to bait him right now. Like, leave my hand cannoneers alone. Take these instead. That means the trades are getting better. Down to 30 Grenadiers still. Chunky amount and a choke point to work with. Doesn't work to Dinky's advantage here. And the grenades! The butchering! So much is dead here. Fuzzer, well, he smiles and says, look at my wonder, yay! Dinky is middle fingering him because Divine is going to be able to move through and deny the wonder. There's nothing left. There's no way in hell. Dinky. He's got nothing left to give. His army count is looking pathetic. 20 milli because he got burned because of Fuzzer. Fuzzer, congratulations to Fuzzer for being second place here. As Agent Fuzzer seems to have been in the service of the Chinese all along. He was a rat inside MI5. Is he maybe going to turncoat again, though? Is it going to be the double-double agent play? Because right now, he's just butchering Dinky. Now, if I'm Dinky, I'm typing in the chat going, yo, Fuzzer, you know that if we both have wonders, when my wonder victory timer goes down, we both win, right? You know that? Fuzz's like, what? For real? I never built this stupid thing. Is that how it works? Like, yeah, dude, that's how it works. Let's work together. Fuzz's like, okay, I'll come help. First, I gotta kill your villagers, but I'll be there soon. Nice riding in. Dinky. Still just not taking good trades. These choke points working against him. He's trying to get on top of the bombers. Oh my god, no! Just attack anything. Attack everything. He wants the bombards, but he still has to worry about the grenadiers. Grenadiers doing just as much damage here. And they'll also burn down buildings almost just as fast. Dinky, at this rate, his only hope is he can delay Divine long enough for Fuzzer to win. And what an unexpected winner it would be at this rate. Fuzzer's finally here. He's like, hold on a sec, what's been happening in this pack? Oh, that's right. There's another player in the game. Whoops. I'll let you guys finish off. I'll be over here when you're done. Dinky. No answers anymore. Food, all but drained. Picked, dry to the bone. Divine DFP. Just enters Fuzzer's details on a PayPal to send in the payment. As Agent F seems to have been a success. That'll be a big pay of F of respects to Dinky as it is looking like once again. It's going to be a loss for the Australians. They just can never seem to win these mega randoms. Dinky, he looked so prosperous in this one. Such high hopes. It looked like this was going to be the one. He wasn't even a cockroach for once. Instead, he was a dominant force in the south. But it turns out the bigger force was the southeast. And as they move closer to that Notre Dame, Dinky is all but done. Only a College of Artillery to keep minute afterwards, but Fuzz is looking to fix that. Mangonel is just trying to break through the walls. Fuzzer just randomly running around like a headless chicken wearing no pants in the remnants of Dinky's base. Just having a party, having a riot, a typical English brigade here as they burn the neighborhood and get drunk. Notre Dame gone. Divine. He's not going to leave anything here. It's like burn it all to the ground. There will be no evidence of an Australian player even being close to the top three. This is so unneeded. This is so over the top. Just put him out of his misery. Because all he's got left is a College Artillery. Clear difference, right? 7 landmarks for Divine. What a ridiculous thing. What a ridiculous Sith. And Fuzz is like, my work here is done. I have consolidated myself as a top 2 mega random player. Let nobody say that I get anything less than first place loser. Question is, what's he going to do now? Has he going to adjust to Divine? Because Divine, I mean, this is the thing. He picked himself dry with this. This is a quality army, but should it get wiped, he's in trouble. Look at the gold. Look at the wood. He will run out quick. Remember, he's been doing these terrible trades of 10 gold in exchange for 100 wood. Dinky King. I'm noting a distinct lack of anything remaining. Has he at least got a marketplace? Did they even leave him a market? I don't... Dinky, there's hope! Dinky, there's... Have we got any military buildings? Any... Dinky, there's hope! Trade! Trade, man! Comeback! Make a comeback! Okay, You've even got a town center! Never give up! Never surrender! Believe! Just believe. I mean, Dinky, in your darkest moment can arise your brightest spark, from which you can come back and be a super oh wait, no. Actually, they found the College of Artillery. The only thing going supernova here is Dinky's base. He leaves him alive. He keeps Dinky as a court jester, as a pet. He won't even finish him. Give him the honor of a good death. Dinky right now is like, no, wait, come back. Come back. Right now, Divine just rolling away like, crikey, mate, get wrecked. It's time to go deal with the fake Englishman to the north. Now I realize what AUS stands for. Because when you say it very loudly, it's Aus, which for those who are like, you know, from Germany or Austria, then that means out. Because Dinky, as usual, is out. But he's trying for vengeance. What is this? Dinky returns to his keyboard. He's like, why am I not dead? Fine. Culverins ahoy. What? Well, the Robotica play was a bold play. I'll give you that. It was in the name. Didn't look so bold in the game, though. How are we even halfway towards a wonder victory for Fuzzer after all this? I just don't... I can't. There's no way, right? There's no way he can do it. I mean, Dinky, can he recover? He has got one village. Where is that one villager, actually? Where the hell? Is he working a farm? He's getting some food for friends? I think he is. It's not like he could have bought the food with the marketplace he still had for a very long time. That's by the landmark. There it is! There is hope! For some reason, in this world, you don't need the Adam and Eve lot. You don't need two people to create more people. So there's a way. Essentially, what you do is you just take a bunch of like piles of wheat and like lamb meat, and then you cram it inside a room, and then after like 20 seconds or 16 seconds in this case, don't know how long that is in in-game years, someone just pops out. As you can tell, I do not want to ever have to explain birds and bees to people. Okay, this Culverin. This Culverin could be big, actually. Like, Divine has been struggling on gold. And each of these are costing a hefty amount to replace. And they are rule Culverins, right? Yeah, so they're doing the extra 20% damage. So in total, they are going to do 330 damage per shot. So two of them are enough to insta-snipe a bombard. All he needs is for Fuzzer to distract. He can go for the spite kill. Yeah, he's like, I won't win this, but I can make sure you don't. He's like, you know what? I'm frustrated that Fuzzer wouldn't help me get rid of the strongest player, but it's going to be better if he loses to the player that simply spams spears for half of this game. It's time for the spite victory. For Fuzzer. For glory. Culverins going for the third of the bombards. Bombards going down to 5. This is problematic. Divine, he can't afford to replace these, and he needs the bombards to get through. Because I do believe that Fuzzer is still wheeling Mangonels and also the Roboticans. And that's going to be a difference maker against these chunky Grenadiers. Culverin's trading out. Heavy damage on both sides. One's going to go down. Straight out at the end. This should end up favoring the Culverin, though. Culverin, it's going to live. It's going to live. One more hit for justice. He does it. And with that, Dinky, he sinks into the ground, middle finger up. It's the last thing you see as he disappears from this game. Not much left he can do. He looks to Fuzzer as he fades from this world and says, it is all up to you now, son. Make me proud. Divine, well, he's built all these siege workshops. He can barely afford it, though. Look at the numbers. Good luck getting that bombard line up quick enough. 4.5 minutes away. Fuzzer Can he do this? Can he give us the most phenomenally unexpected wonder victory imaginable? The filthy spearman spammer from the center. From humble beginnings, AFK for what seemed like months, to come back and maybe beat out this many high-level pro players to win the MegaRandom free-for-all, to beat the Chinese in a 1v1 hyper-late game as the English. Can he do it? And Dinky. I don't think he's got anything left to assist. It really is all up to Fuzzer now. But look, he's not giving up just yet, folks. He's going for the marketplace. He's tapping away with his hammer. He's got 10k wood in reserve. He says, if this game goes another hour, I can actually win it. Divine, I mean, it is his own fault. He did leave that alive. We said the College of Artillery should have been killed, but no. He refused to give Dinky an honorable death. So Dinky, he goes to the honorable assist, and now just 3.5 minutes away from that assist being a reality here. Because, you know, regardless of what you see in the scores or what you feel with the size of each army, if Fuzzer wins this, Dinky King is the second place here. And Divine will be the big loser. Fences open fire. Bombards wheeling forward onto the keeps. Keeps a lot chunkier with the additional health here. 6,500 health. Grenadiers march in. Stings though, a lot of fire coming their way. Fuzzer, does he rush out to try and get rid of the bombards? It's going to be difficult. Still reliant on the spears, always on the spears. Never change, Fuzzer. Here he goes, rushes in with the spears. Reboldican wheeling forward. Spearman distracting, Reboldican getting a range. Heavy damage, decent damage, not enough, needs more. Mangonels wheeling around the side. Second round of fire coming in, they're ignored. Divine, looking at the wrong places. There it is, bombards move in. Trade-outs coming in, but they are chunky to get through. Gets fragged down straight away. Still plenty of bombards remaining. Divine pushing around. Mangonels, only one in the field. Heavy damage in, they're still alive though, the Mangonels. Pathetic damage, not good enough. Count, still healthy. Time remaining, not looking healthy for Divine. 2 minutes out. And Fuzzer, the switch up now into the Elite Knights. Just trying to delay as best he can. Spearman running across. And look at this. A small trickle going to be effective here because you're not getting the maximum impact the Grenadiers. Frags out now. Knights are in. Heavy damage coming their way. And the clash is still going the way of Divine. He'll gain more ground. Fuzzer just needs to hold him longer. Wheels him out. Bombard's coming in range. He knows that's actually the quickest way that this can be sniped down. He's not going to give it over easily. And Fuzzer, buddy, a little bit too close here. Reverse it up. Isn't targeting them out. He's just chasing the bombards. Uh-oh. Well, but kill these! Just kill them! Folks, these bombards could be insta-sniping the Grenadiers right now. The Grenadiers would just be evaporating. But no, wraps in. Knights, that's what you do. Goes in onto the bombard. Frags one down. Remember, Divine. He's capped now. Wood, gold. Barely anything in reserve. It's all in on this. 1 minute out, and it's looking like Fuzzer might have done it. The Berkshire Palace is going to be too hard to breach. Only 53 Grenadiers remaining and heavy damage on most of them. He has to go fast as well, and he knows it. Even if you do deny this wonder, what have you got left afterwards? Look at the reserves for Fuzzer. He can easily keep this up all day. And the Mangonels, the meme Ganels, the boy Ganels, they might be good enough to boink Divine out of this game. They delay him further, 30 seconds away. The mad lad looks like he's done it. There is absolutely nothing left. Divine is a husk of his former self. Just 20 seconds away. Barely any Grenadiers on the front line. Anything remaining. Divine DFP has nothing more to give. Fuzzer, the unexpected victor here. Dinky King with a second place assist will ensure that he comes through and achieves the wonder victory we never expected. Wow! What a game! What a finish to this game! And such a big shout out to Dinky. Honestly, those snipes, I mean, you know, I'm glad they were there. assisting, pointing out the details. It's so hard to see a one Royal Culverin when you've got so much action going on with the big blobs, but those 2 Royal Culverins, they were worth paying attention to. Clearly, we weren't the only ones trying to figure out what was happening and weren't able to see it because it sniped so many bombards. It stunted the timing. That was the big detail. That's what turned everything. If it wasn't for that, Divine DFB has enough bombards and enough grenadiers to rush through, breach all the defenses, and then flood in onto the Wonder and get the GG out of Fuzzer. But Dinky, he comes in clutch with the assists, right? He's there. He's Obi-Wan in spirit form next to good old Skywalker. He's given him all the advice he needs. He's given the assistance wherever it needs to be. And he ensures that Fuzzer comes out unexpected as the Wonder Victor. You know, I warned it. I said, remember, the central player, they don't get focused. They usually get to chill and do what they want because everyone expects everyone else to attack them. It's hard to win, though, still. At the end of the day, with a Wonder in the center of the map like that, but he does it so beautifully. Fuzzer, we thought he was just beaming when he decided to build a Wonder after he saw Dinky's, but there was a plan here. It required Dinky's assistance, and seemingly he relied on the spite of the Australian to want to get back at Divine for not finishing him off, to give him that win. So unexpectedly, in this 8-player free-for-all pro-level game. Oh, we haven't seen Fuzzer in months, but I'm so glad we got to see him in this one.